Good morning. Welcome to my world, or rather to my study, which has almost become my world over the last few weeks. I expect you too find yourself in your room at home a great deal of the time now, as we live this strange locked down life in which it seems the whole world shares. This is where I have phone meetings and Google Hangouts and Meets. I read and write, work on my computer, keep in touch with family and friends. I have ways to make other people present here. I have a bust of Shakespeare. I have a candle with Our Lady of Guadalupe on. I have photos of family members around, and I have the latest technology. It's called a telephone. I really like this room, but it seems at times to be my prison cell in the long lockdown house arrest. The French Catholic thinker of the 17th century, Blaise Pascal, famously said that all human problems come from man's inability to sit still in a quiet room alone. What did he mean by that? I suppose he's saying that we become uncomfortable with ourselves, we fear boredom, we need to be distracted from our anxieties and concerns, and we can't help but fill our lives with pointless restlessness rather than face silence and the realities of our existence. Well, lockdown has certainly stripped away some of the possibilities for distraction and made us face some new things about our lives. I don't think Pascal could have imagined the window out of our room, that is, the computer screen. It has great potential for distraction, of course, but it also helps us to make connections with people in lockdown. Through the wonders of YouTube, I can join the monks in the Abbey Church for Lauds at 7:30 each morning, and I can go to the Oxford Oratory for Mass at 8 a.m. I can do virtual tours of museums and art galleries, and of course I can see my pupils for lessons and colleagues for meetings. All this is a way of being present to others and with others, even if, for instance, I can't go to church at Easter and experience the real presence of Christ in Holy Communion. What does presence mean in this new world of lockdown? How am I not with people when I'm on the phone, or not with them when in a Google Hangout? How am I not at Mass when I join it online? The obvious answer is the lack of physical presence, proximity in space, being able to shake hands, hug our loved ones, to see their faces in all their expressiveness close up. But physical presence is what we have become afraid of in the time of the virus. I haven't been able to visit my elderly parents for weeks because I'm afraid I might unknowingly pass on to them something which they might not survive, even if the police don't stop me and find me on the way. Easter is a time in which we think about the strange new presence of one who was close to his friends but who was taken away from them by death. Miraculously, that wasn't the end of the story. The readings in the liturgy in this Easter time tell us of Jesus' resurrection appearances. He burst his tomb prison, refusing to be locked down by death, no longer contained by the limits of space and time. He looks different. Mary Magdalene doesn't recognize him in the garden, and she's not allowed to touch him. The disciples are in their own lockdown in the upper room, hiding themselves out of fear, and then Jesus is suddenly among them. He walks through walls. Such things can't hold him back, but he's no ghost, because he makes doubting Thomas touch the wounds he still has from his crucifixion. He eats food with his friends. The risen Lord comes at unexpected times, in unexpected ways, but he's no mere image on a screen or otherwise. He comes in a strange new physical body, the same as it was, and also completely different. how mysterious, dangerous, and even scary the resurrected body is. It's like a cosmic earthquake in the natural order, a new kind of creation. It's the string theory or quantum mechanics in our theology, in which the nature of matter and energy, space and time become all much more mysterious than under the old, orderly, law-abiding world of Newtonian physics. I sometimes think that if we could understand the resurrection of the body, which we say we believe in every time we say the creed, we could understand all that God is drawing everything into in a very wonderful way. Before that happens, of course, we live in a world of limits, boundaries, and waiting on others. We can make ourselves present to each other by listening attentively, being ready to help, being on hand to be supportive. And when lockdown begins to come to an end, we'll need to be very ready to see and hear what others need from us then, being careful to reduce risks to others' safety and finding ways of showing that we acknowledge their humanity. This is what St. Benedict calls listening with the ear of the heart to what God is calling us to be and do in Christ. Thank you for listening. Have a very good week, and I wish you all the joy of the risen Lord.
What would it look like for you to listen more than you talk? What would it look like for you to be really present to those around you this week, whether that's online in a lesson or simply with your family around you at home? What would it look like? I remember a few years ago having a conversation with a mentor of mine, and she described how she'd become convicted about using her phone less around her children because she'd started to see the negative impact upon their relationship because she was really struggling to be present to them. And it really inspired me that when I became a dad, I would do the same, that I would put things in place in order to be more present to my children and to my family. Now, the issue is that these things are actually really addictive, aren't they? And, I've really struggled to put things in place. But during this time of lockdown, I've put a few things in place that have really helped me. And one of those things is to simply put my phone in a different room before I go to sleep. And then I don't actually look at it until about 9 o'clock in the morning the next day. And what this enables me to do is just be really present to my family when I get up in the morning. But it also helps me have a great night's sleep because I know my phone isn't buzzing next to me while I'm trying to get to sleep. And then just during the day, I'm also trying to leave my phone in a different room when I'm spending time with my family. Because even if it's in my pocket, it's so tempting, isn't it? When it buzzes or you just want to have a look to see you've had a message or anything come in. And I've just had to learn that actually I need to put it in a separate place in order that I can be free and present to those around me. And then only the other thing I've done is when I go out for walks, I also leave my phone behind. And I found that so liberating just to be free in nature and to let myself be restored in that environment. So maybe have a think. What might you do in this week to create a bit of interior silence in yourself so that you might be more present to those around you? I don't know if you remember Yonder pouches. It's been a few weeks since we used one of those, but have a think. What might a yonder moment look like for you this week? Whether that's just not using your phone at the dinner table, whether it's leaving it in a different room before you go to sleep, or even just going out for a walk and leaving your phone behind. What might be your yonder moment this week? And so just to help us reflect on that now, let's take a moment in prayer to remember that Jesus is truly risen, as Mr. Gus Hurstmore has been explaining to us this morning. And that actually he is able to fulfill our heart's desires. And he is able to help us, even with these things that we might struggle with, like putting our phone away, just even for 5 minutes. And so let's take a moment with him now, and to be still, and to know that he is God.
riseth from the buried grave. Weed that in dark earth many days had lain, love lives again that with the dead has been. Love is come again like wheat that springeth green. In the grave they laid him, love whom man had slain, thinking that never he would wake again. Laid in the earth like grain that sleeps unseen, love is come again like wheat that springeth green. Forth he came at Easter like the risen grain, he that for 3 days in the grave had lain. Quick from the dead my risen Lord is seen. Love is come again like wheat that springeth green. When our hearts are wintry, grieving or in pain, thy touch can call us back to life again. Fields of our hearts that dead and bare have been, love is come again like wheat that springs